What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Carbon, and I really gotta think of something else to say, but I'm back with another episode of No HESI, and I'm starting off in a Volkswagen Jetta. I saw that it was available. I wanted to give it a go, and it didn't take me long to realize that this car is a piece of shit in heavy traffic, you know, because you really gotta duck and weave. So I did a little test there, but even then I crashed the damn thing, and I realized this car, not for me. I need something I need to have some fun with. I've already had a bad day at work, so I switch over to the 1000 horsepower drag radial Toyota Supra. Now, I might go back to that Volkswagen someday just to challenge myself. I'm going to switch to the Supra, change the color on it. Didn't really like the color it came with, and this thing absolutely fucking launches. I mean, this thing is nuts. It doesn't have the greatest handling, but it definitely is good for a straight line. And another big thing that I noticed with the car, that it's a lot wider than I think it is. It's still a sexy Toyota Supra, one of the greatest dashboards on a car ever, like ever. You can replace all that stuff with gauges, and that thing is basically like a pilot seat. And I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for when they designed this car, is like a cockpit for a plane, like a fighter jet. Now, the Volkswagen I found in the hot hatchback server for No HESI, and this Toyota Supra I found in the 90s cars, which won't be, you know, this Toyota Supra won't be the only car I drive. The night I recorded this, I ended up driving 3 cars: that Volkswagen, that piece of shit Golf, the Toyota Supra right here, and then I eventually end up switching to another car, which you'll see later. Sadly, I don't have an exterior shot, but it is a vehicle I will 100% be using again, trying to go for one of these high score No HESI runs to get to, hopefully one day, top 20 leaderboard. Right now, I'm top 80, which I'm still really fucking proud of, as you can see on the score on the top left. It's just a little over 4.4 million points, which puts me just under top 80. Now, a lot of people in these VIP3 servers, they're gunning for high scores. And then once it opens up to the public, it is going to be like a wild west. So although I do love driving different cars, getting to know different cars, just because I'm a fan of cars, not every car is going to be great for competition. But I am finding that some cars are a hell of a lot better than others. Now, this Toyota Supra, I wouldn't say is one of the greatest cars for it. It is definitely a car that, after I took some time to learn its handling, that it could be one of those high score vehicles. But I would say smaller cars are what I want to kind of go for, that are a little bit more agile. Don't have to have a lot of horsepower, but I do like an adjustable turbo in case some cars spin too much. Now, this Toyota Supra, as you can see, just crashed, doesn't have the greatest handling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning, change it to a color that we all know is going to get us good luck, and that is the orange from the Fast and Furious. Sadly, I can't get a livery on it, but I can pretend. These drag radials definitely give the car the rear end grip it needs to take off. I mean, look at this thing. It sounds fucking nuts, and just because I love Supras, I think it's definitely going to be a car that I'm going to try to use for a high score run one day. It definitely requires a little more use of the steering wheel, which really puts you into the immersion. You know, some of the easiest cars, you barely have to move the steering wheel because you're precise with it. You don't need to roll the body of the car. Like this thing, it wants to go one way or the other, and you have to counter steer it, and you can feel that in the force feedback. Luckily, it does have very good force feedback. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be able to control this car as good as I am. I do notice also later on in these runs that this is one of those cars that I think I can either stick to a 4th gear or a 5th gear run, but there never really should be an opportunity for me to go into 3rd, even though I just did. But there are those low occasions where you just need to get some speed up because you see a gap in front of you, and you know you can reach like 140, 150 and pass these cars as close as possible for the most amount of points, which of course is the whole point of these No HESI servers, is to try to get the highest points. And in order to do that, is you got to pass cars as close as you can, as fast as you can. Now, me not being an expert or anything, I'm more focused on trying to just get the high points and learn the map before I start try to go balls to the wall as fast as I can. And even then, you need to use something like a Porsche 911 GT3 or something that is just built to be very, very agile and will more than likely have an anti-lock braking system and a stability control. And sadly, I don't make it very far into this run either. The car really does just like to kick out from underneath of you if you brake too hard, and sometimes it's just a lot wider than you think it is. I mean, it is a Toyota Supra. It's got a big ass on it, and it throws around. See, I braked a little bit too hard, and the back end just kicked out. Next thing you know, I'm all over the fucking track, and I'm already getting mad. Like, no run is going very good for me. Like, I just want high scores, but I also want to have fun at the same time. And this Supra, I feel like I can have fun with. It eventually switches to nighttime. I'm ready for another run. I get a little bit of my nicotine hit with my vape, and I am fucking ready to send it. Now, this third person view, this is a view I didn't like when I hit everything. You just hit everything. But this view, although looks great, you get to see the car, you get to see more of the sky, which, shout out to AC Realism. This post-process filter looks amazing, but this car just can't get the grip I want it to. I decided to go for another run using a little bit of a different camera mode. Now, this view is something you have to manually set via the first person view. Once you're in the first person view, you can go to a setting that allows you to change where the camera is. So all I did was place it right above the windshield as if there was a GoPro up there. Now, this is one of the first crashes I had where my car actually caught fire. I couldn't believe it. This was the first time I had ever seen this, and not only that, a wheel had flown off. I thought that was really cool. Obviously I should be dead. They do have some realism servers I'd like to play in one day, but that pissed me off. I've already had a long night. I've had no long runs, but finally, after a long night with the Supra, I get this run. It's the very end of the run. It was the best run I had with the Supra, which is really kind of what gave me hope that I'm going to be able to do well, especially with this new camera mode. You can really see how much closer you can get to cars than being in the first person view or behind the car. I think it really helps, and it still keeps the immersion for me. I still like playing it. Sadly, it doesn't last very long. I end up losing the 1.7 million streak by just cutting a little bit too close to a truck, and this is where I'm like, okay, I'm done with the Supra. It's time to move on to something else, and this is where I find the EG Civic. It is the EG6 Honda Civic. Again, a manual transmission, has a lot of horsepower, has 800 horsepower. But the benefit to this car is that it's very, very small. I mean, just take a look. I'm getting ready to drive up the middle of the second and third lane, and I barely have to move. I barely have to move the steering wheel at all. It is so fucking great. I mean, the inside of the car looks great too. Just look at, they got the gauges. You can see which gear I'm in on the dash. It has the race dash, the digital dash. It's got, flames coming out the turbo bit, coming out the hood. It's got the roll cage. And I am very certain that this is going to be one of the cars I will be absolutely destroying it. Now, I know they're going to be coming out with a lot of other new cars as well, and I will be trying those. But for those serious runs, basically those speed runs, trying to get the highest score as fast as possible, well, not even as fast, just getting the highest score, is that I'm going to need to compile a list of serious cars, and this EG6 Civic is definitely going to be one of them. The Supra is going to be somewhere on the list. I'm sure going to be driving the Evo as well. I tend to like that when I tried it out, but I'm not going to try many more cars out without recording it, just so I can give my opinion on each vehicle as I find them, as they come out. And I don't know if you're paying attention to the score up there, but yes, I have beat my personal best already. I am already in the top 70 of people. But sadly, this is where things come to an end. I actually missed an exit a few miles back that I should have taken, and now I'm on a 2-lane road that is basically dangerous. It comes back into the pits like I've done before, and then goes into a 2-lane where the lane on the right should be going a little bit more than 65 km/h, But if I dip below 65 kilometer an hour, I lose my score. I could also lose my multiplier, which if I lose my multiplier, always sucks. So I'm doing my best to stay above 65 kilometers an hour. Actually, sorry, it's 95 kilometers an hour and it's above 60 mile per hour. So I end up getting a little bit too close to a car up here coming up and I lose it. But I end up finding out that I've beat my personal best and I've officially clocked into the 5 fucking million. This gives me hope. This car is going on the list. I will be trying out more. If you enjoyed these videos or want to see different cars, or you have any tips or you have any questions, join my Discord. All the information's down below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Peace.